Welcome to Roast the Post. Today, we will listen to people answer the question, exotic pet owners of Reddit, what animal do you have? And what's your most memorable experience with that animal? Lard Baron shares this story. My good mate John had a monkey, one of those small ones similar to yours. I walked into the room and he was carefully wanking it with his finger and thumb. The monkey was laid back in bliss, and I said, "What are you doing, John?" He replied all casual and completely unabashed, "Wanking my monkey." It turns out he had to do it almost weekly or the little freaker would go ape. Running around and pulling at John's hair, he had scratches all over his arms. Weekly wanking calmed him down. Good for you, Lard Baron. Reddit user rkelly758 posted this video titled, "What Life is Like Living with a Fox." Looks like living with a fox is similar to living with a 5-year-old on crack. I own an 8-month-old Quaker parrot. Once when the plumber came, my bird, who's quite the attention whore, saw him and expected Mr. Plumber to greet him and give him scratches and attention. The plumber paid no attention to him, so my bird kept saying, "Hello? Hello?" And the plumber responded by saying, "Hello? Yes, miss? Miss?" Since I was the only human home, this went on for about 5 minutes as I played coy in the basement until he realized there was a bird there. He also tends to escape the cage and find me in the basement and laugh a lot. He's the best. He once pooped in my brother's hair and started laughing. My brother was not amused to say the least, but that's okay because we fight a lot. My uncle used to have a monkey. His wife made him get rid of it because it would jack off and throw semen and poop at people. It was a strange creature. That sounds like an animal I would never want to own. Type A negative writes, "I have a kangaroo named Robert. I killed his mother by accident and found him in the pouch. I took him to the animal rescue people, but I couldn't get him out of my head, so I went and asked for him back. She showed me how to look after him and shoot, so I've raised him since he was a baby. He's about 4 years old now, and I'm not sure whether he's a pet or not. He kind of varies between being free range and coming home to eat my garden. When he's home, he lives inside, usually curled up in front of the fire, but sometimes under the kitchen table. He has a bed, but usually the cats are on there, and he doesn't like to cause trouble. He's most often nearby, within about 200 meters of the house, but sometimes he disappears with the mob for a few days, probably off shagging." My dad used to have a pet lion. It was 1971, and he would have been about 19. The lion was called Kit. He had a farm near a small town just north of Manchester in the UK. He bought Kit from an advert in the back of a newspaper at the time. There were no regulations about such things. I think the Wild Animals Act was introduced in the UK in 1978. He got Kit when he was a small cub, I guess no more than a few weeks old. He lived in the house with a dog they also had. My dad was dating my mom at the time, but it was before they lived together. From the stories I've heard, it didn't seem to like my mom or my dad's brother, and that he would corner them and not let him pass. I suspect it's more of a confidence thing, and if you don't have it, Kit would be in charge. My dad tells stories of taking Kit to the local pub on a lead. People would want to pet him, and sometimes he would play a little rough, like you can with a dog. My dad used to have to remind people out it was a lion and not to play too rough, as Kit would play back. The landlord didn't seem to have an issue with the lion at the pub. He used to buy food for him from the abattoir. Carcasses, basically. I think he kept Kit for about 6 months, at which point, he was getting out of hand. He was about the same size as a Great Dane and had all his teeth and claws, and with paws the size of dinner plates. It turns out that a small lion cub is fun to own, but a juvenile lion is a freaking lion and not ideal to have around the house. Kit ended up going to a small private zoo somewhere. This was the days before the animal rights movement, and he ended up getting declawed and detoothed, and it was all very sad. I'm sure my dad regrets it, and I don't think he could bring himself to ever go visit. I was born in 1978, and I have a recollection of my dad getting the news Kit died in probably the late 80s. I have a Tibetan yak. She makes little nests in her hay ring, which I find amusing. Probably her most memorable moment, however, was when she discovered just how awesome peppermint treats were and just went crazy for them. When she goes crazy, there is hoofing, stamping, tail swishing, and grunting. I had an octopus that I kept in a saltwater tank. She is dead now. She would flash neon blue at you to get your attention. I could feed her dead shrimp by hand, and she would grab onto my hand and grab the shrimp. One time, I accidentally poked her in the eye while feeding her, and she inked and ran away. I currently have a hedgehog, but all she does is eat, sleep, and poop. Thanks for watching another edition of Roast the Post. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe for more. What exotic pet would you want to own? Let us know in the comments below.